Gemini, welcome back to Steampunk Psyche. If you are a returning subscriber, I love you so very, very much. I appreciate you. If you're brand new to the channel or just cross-watching, I'm JT. Like I always say, Gemini, sometimes the cards line up with us, right? The day-to-day grind. Sometimes the major arcanas line up. Just use your intuition, okay? It's just a general reading. Do keep in mind that I always place your haiku poems right before your reading, okay? That being said, I'll show you the down low. We'll shuffle up. Gemini, I wish for you clarity. I wish for you communication. I wish for you that any questions you might have become answered. I wish for you strength. I wish for you bold courage. All right, I have already pre-shuffled the cards, but for transparency's sake, I shuffled for you. We're going to talk about your present energy, your crossing challenge. We're going to look at the foundation, the recent past. We're going to look at the possibilities, the near future, the self. We're going to look at the environment, hopes, fears, wishes, or worries, and the near future. Right on, Gemini. Okay, I'm going to take a look at these cards, and while I'm doing that, here are your brand new poems from Haiku Corner. I'll be right back. We'll talk about it. Okay, Gemini, before we start this reading, I just want to tell you there's some teeth, there's some grit in this reading, okay? I feel like what we've got is a masculine energy who is afraid to admit something. And there is a feminine picking up on this energy. You haven't got them fooled at all. Now, do keep in mind that I use those terms inadvertently, okay? You could be a feminine in your high masculine energy. You could be a masculine in your feminine energy, okay? We do have a balance of both. So just take it with a grain of salt. Anyway, I love you. I'm going to give you this reading. If you're brave enough, stick around. This is let's just say this up front. One of you is hiding behind a mask here, okay? This could be walking away from a life that doesn't fit. We have this 8 of Cups energy, okay? Even if you haven't admitted this yet, this is, if we're talking about, a younger feminine here, you didn't walk away from him. You walked away from yourself. Okay, I told you there's a little bit of that. Just take it with a grain of glitter here. What I'm trying to say is you're emotionally checked out of the safe future that you chose here, but you're still physically in it because the mask is very familiar to you, okay? If we're talking about the older masculine, he feels the distance. He feels the silence. He's the one feeling the truth that you won't say, okay? So what we're talking about is it's like avoiding imagining a future with him because maybe this exposes a lie that you're living. So I'm not saying this to give any kind of a kudos, hoorah for any masculine who's watching this or any man who's watching this. It's not what this is about. It's not about the tear down. It's about revealing the truth. And I feel like for this person here, you're terrified that maybe he'll see the real you, the one, who wants him. He senses you're unhappy, even if you pretend this otherwise. That's what this is talking about. And I feel like you're staying exactly where you are out of stubbornness, not love. He feels the emotional pull, even in the no contact here, okay? And you're scared of wanting him, and he's scared of losing you. So you're both pretending you're fine, right? And neither of you is fine. This is what this card's talking about here. Take it with a grain of salt. I am not going to sugarcoat these damn cards. I'm just saying here. Your challenge card here is the High Priestess, okay? Look here, this is gonna hit like tiny emotional little pings on you here. This is your intuition trying to break through your denial. It's tender, okay, but you're safe. This challenge is that your intuition is screaming the truth and you are actively ignoring it here, okay? For this younger feminine, you feel him, you want him, right? He's the diamond in the rough, but admitting that means admitting that maybe you might have settled in your current situation. For some of you, you could be in a relationship already, okay? So if we're talking about the older masculine here, we're talking about he knows you're hiding something. He knows you're scared. He knows you're not where you want to be. Okay, think of it like this. You think of him at the worst possible times. It's because your intuition is louder than your mask, right? He dreams about you when you're trying hardest to forget him. Get it? There's a mirroring action taking place here. You feel guilty for wanting him. He feels guilty for wanting someone who's already chosen, right? Perhaps avoiding eye contact, even in your memories, trying to turn your head, even in your dreams, trying to turn the head. So he avoids reaching out because he respects your boundaries, even if they're built on fear. We're going to talk about this foundation. 8 candles here, 8 of wands. This is sparks. This is ignition, right? This is the truth trying to break through. There is nothing blocking this truth here. Nothing. This connection was built on speed, emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual, and it scared you because it felt too real, too damn fast. For this younger feminine energy here, we're talking about you shut down because this intense type of energy right here, it threatened a life maybe that you had already committed to here, okay? So the older masculine, he holds back because he doesn't want to disrupt your world, even though he felt the pull. Right? This is he typed up a message and deleted it. Maybe you almost confessed once, all right? Then you panicked. He feels your fear, he backs off. You felt the desire, you ran. He's waiting for the sign, you're waiting for courage. This is closer to reaching out than you think. All right? And you're closer to breaking than what you admit. I'm talking about 3 to 6 weeks here. This card, I'm telling you, this energy is so intense and it has such a masculine blame game thing going on. It is so fucking intense. I can't hardly like, I don't know, tripping over my tongue here. The 3 of Swords. We're going to talk about this, all right? The 3 of Swords. This is emotional turbulence. That's all this is talking about. And what it's doing is it's opening up and exposing what's real here, okay? Look, this is another one of those moments, right? This heartbreak between you and him, it wasn't between you and him. It was between the version of yourself that I feel like maybe you betrayed yourself. You broke your own heart, by choosing safety over truth here. He feels the loss even though you never gave him the full story, right? Maybe you stayed with someone that doesn't even see you, okay? He backs away because he thought you didn't want him. Maybe you cried over him in silence, those types of things. It's, he pretends he doesn't notice you, the withdrawal that you're going through. You feel guilty for wanting him. He felt guilty for wanting someone who wasn't free. You both hurt. This is separate. This is mirrored back and forth right here, okay? We're going to talk about the possibilities. Got that 10 of Pentacles there. I was making sure it's in the right way. All right. This is all about rising up into a future that kind of actually fits the scenario here. This is the life you could have if you stop choosing the mask, right? You know, you see the potential with him. You know, you feel that stability. You imagine the futures too. This is all of those things you imagine, and then the shutdown, right? You know, he sees you as someone he wants to build with, right? He sees all the long term in this. He sees the truth that you're scared to say. You know, he imagines introducing you to his world. You know, you imagine that life where you're actually smiling, you're happy. You know, this is, I want to protect you. You know, this is, I am choosing you and I want you to feel chosen. I want you to feel seen. I see you as a partner, you know, and I feel like you see him as the life maybe that you didn't let yourself want. Okay. All right. We're talking about this next card. We got 7 pentacles, more pentacles here. It's definitely about building something, a future here. This is, it's the universe nudging you, you know, definitely through emotional echoes. Okay. We're talking about, this is the moment before the truth cracks open, you know. You know, for the feminine here, you're questioning everything. And it's because that mask that you've built, it's starting to slip, right? Something about your future doesn't feel right. You just can't put it all together. It's not clicking in place, okay? And there's a reason, you know. The masculine in this, he's evaluating how to approach you without breaking your ass open too fast. That's what this is. It's, I don't know. Yeah, for some of you could be having song synchronicities, right? Or like the number 717, something like that. Something's about to hit, you know. I'm about to reach out. You're imagining maybe telling him the truth, you know. He imagines hearing the truth. You're both waiting for each other to move, you know, and the silence is fucking heavy here, you know. And I feel like when you're both focused on something else entirely, it's all about trying to avoid, okay? All right, we're going to talk about this Ace of Swords in yourself. This is clarity. It's what cuts through all of the denial here, okay? You know, for the feminine, it's you know the truth. Maybe the one that you've always known, okay? It's, you're just terrified of what that might destroy, right? You're tired of pretending, you're tired of performing happiness, you're tired of settling, you're tired of lying to yourself, all the same old blada yada yada. You know, you're tired of hiding from him. You're tired of wanting him in silence. So you can imagine that on the other side of that, it is the same way for the masculine here. All right, we're talking about this environment here. We've got the Judgment. Wake up. These are wake ups. Hey, wake up. It's the one you can't ignore here, okay? You know, for the masculine, he's realizing he misread maybe your silence. It wasn't rejection. Maybe it was fear, okay? And the feminine, you're realizing you misread his distance. It wasn't disinterest, it was out of respect. Wake up. That's what this card's saying, you know. He wants a second chance. You want a real chance, right? He's waking up to the full depth of this. You're waking up to the truth of yourself. I don't know, he's ready. You're scared, right? The universe is pushing the both of you. Some of you could be having like deja vu around this card, okay? We're going to talk about this hopes, fears, wishes, and worries. Like I said, this reading has got teeth. Don't worry about it. It's all beautiful. Look, your body's reacting before your mind admits the truth here, you know, and you know this. You want to be chosen, you know, you want to be seen, right? He wants to choose you, but he's terrified of hurting you. This is all about intimacy. It's all about maybe the fear of being exposed. You want him, you know, but you don't want to lose your control or the power over your own control. You want to be loved, but you know, it's that fear of being unmasked, right? You want to be pursued, but you fear of being truly known, truly seen. All right. This is about the opening up, you know. This is that late night moment of honesty. That's what that card represents, okay? Check it out. In the outcome and the direction, the devil. This is the truth you've been avoiding. It's coming to the surface. I'm going to phrase this really, really slow. This isn't danger. It's just the moment that everything cracks, okay? Look, your desire for him is stronger than your fear, all right? It's it's stronger than your fear of like unraveling this old life, okay? You know, for the masculine, it's his desire for you is stronger than his fear of crossing the line, right? He reaches out, you respond, the truth slips out, the chemistry resurfaces, that type of energy. You know, it could be that, I don't know, the mask finally breaks. All the lies or what was not said collapses, right? The real story is starting to begin here, okay? I feel like Gemini, this is one of those deals where it's, I feel like a, you know, the friend giving you the lesson type of scenario here, but it's, I don't know. I feel like these are all about hidden feelings. It's emotional avoidance. It's kind of like settling, you know, wearing that mask. Um, the truth she won't say, you know, the fear that he won't express. The devil card. I don't know. This reading just really, for some reason, I'm just so pissy right now. I'm angry about it. It's kind of like, they both know, right? But something just keeps blocking them. You know, I'm looking at the spread and I'm going, one major arcana after the other. Yeah, it's all intuition. You know what I mean? Right? It's all what you know. You both know it, and you're both chained to it. The devil is still a relationship card, right? So it's kind of like, when the hell is the truth going to break free? I don't normally like pick on the feminine energy here, the he, she, they, them. I don't really pick on a specific gender like that, but I feel like there is a feminine energy, a pretend feminine energy, you know, a masculine pretending to be in the feminine position when they're not. And it's like, I'm so stubborn that I won't break out of that. I won't break free from that. I'm chained to it. I'm chained to this thing that I've created in my life. And for what fucking reason? That's what gets me. It's like, I mean, I think you forget your sovereignty. I think you're forgetting that nobody chooses anything for you. You choose, you know what I mean? And it's sort of like, you see, when you see a friend that is going through something, right? No matter how much you tell them, you know, yada 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 yada, they're going to do the same thing over and over again. You know, it's like the that old saying, you know, do 1,000 things one way and expect a different outcome. But anyway, I'm just saying, it's one of those readings. I apologize. I don't mean to come across that way, but the energy is just really intense. So anyway, Gemini, I love you. I respect you. I hope this was clarity for some. Uh, I took it like a champ. Anyway, all right. We'll see you in the next ones.